Hey, how you doing? Everything's good, right? Yeah, I think it is. On our play for this week. Wait, let me scroll. Let me scroll. The Witcher 4, Marcus, do it, is more advanced than CD Projekt. No, I'm sorry, than CyberPunk 2077, CD Projekt says. Xbox Game Pass wants more money for fewer features if you're on console. We finally got to play Concord, the so-called Guardians of the Galaxy Overwatch ripoff game. Was the hate warranted? And we have more in depth impressions on Zenless Zone Zero and First Descendants. All this and more on Season 8, Episode 28 of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka So Concord, huh? I am joined by.
On MF Ross.
What does the M and F stand for?
It's 11 a.m. Sunday. It's 93 degrees.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh my
You know
gosh.
the rest.
Now you know who we are. Press X Star Gamers Digest is a video podcast that contains the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday, as Sean said, when we can make it because life is hard.
But listening to us is easy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Don't forget, you can support us by liking this video, that video, and all our videos. You can subscribe to the channel, this channel, that channel. And you can hit that notification bell. I don't know, 3, whatever. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, whatever podcast service you are currently tuned in on. And if you want, you can join our conversations by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. That's Discord. Join our Discord. Do it. All right. Now we got
Your
all
friend
that
has a
handled.
Tesla, go subscribe to the podcast and a Tesla for us.
All right, now that we got that all out the way, we can jump into the gaming news with number 1. The Witcher 4 is the most advanced game CD Projekt is working on right now, ahead of CyberPunk 2 and The Witcher remake. This comes to us from GamesRadar by way of Ali Jones. So, as the title suggests, there was a interview. Well, actually, no, it was more of a podcast thing. So that's according to Paul Sasko, associate game director on the Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. I keep seeing Cyberpunk and want to say CD Projekt Cyberpunk, and that always trips me up for some weird reason. So yeah, speaking on the Flow Games podcast, Sasko wasn't able to give much detail on any of the up and coming CD Projekt Red games, but he did give a rundown of the whole bunch, explaining that I'm just seeing CD Projekt everywhere, man. Explaining that The Witcher 4 is by far the furthest along. So he goes and basically gives a list of all the games that CD Projekt is working on, which is The Witcher 1 remake, Cyberpunk 2, the spinoff of the Witcher spinoff, Project Series, right?
Yeah.
And of course, the new Witcher game, which is Witcher 4. And Sasko notes that the Witcher 4 is the most advanced from all those games, which is a lot of games for them to be working on. So
I wonder how large their team is.
I have an answer to that. As of May, it's over 400 people, which is a ungodly number of people to be working on games. But it's good though. That means that we should
projects, but yeah.
Yeah. But I think it suggests that I think that number is the number of people that have jumped to The Witcher 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so after Cyberpunk 2077's DLC, after that released and it was in a good state, they shifted a bunch of people over to The Witcher 4. So what does this mean? Does this mean we'll see this next year? Probably not. I think what we might get is the soonest thing we'll get is probably a trailer for The Witcher 4. Okay, we got
Correction. That 400 count is just for the Polaris project. They have over 1,200. employees across 6 continents
Oh, wow.
as of June.
As of June. Okay, okay. Man, that's insane. So yeah, like when do we see this happen? When do we see anything for The Witcher 4?
Game Awards?
That's what I would think. I think that would be a really cool place to have this because I feel like
Mhm.
within the past like maybe 2 weeks or so, we've been getting a couple of like Witcher 4 news stuff. So it seems
Yeah.
like okay, well, they really might be cooking something up. So and I think it could be pretty interesting to see something of The Witcher 4 Game Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 2. Xbox Game Pass is getting major changes with a new tier without day one games and a range of price increases. This comes to us from Windows Central. Before I even jump into that article, I'm actually not going to jump into that article. I'm going to jump to a Tom Warren Twitter post because I think he does a very good job of summarizing all these changes in like a couple of bullet points. So, using his Twitter, um, Microsoft's whole play it day one on Game Pass message gets messy now. And these are essentially the updated tiers. So the first tier you have is Xbox Game Pass Core, which is going to be $9.99. Xbox Game Pass Core has no day one games. And essentially, this is the group of people that was automatically brought into Game Pass from Xbox Gold, Xbox Games for Gold,
Yeah.
whatever that title was. So these are the people that got kind of pushed into this new Game Pass system. And that's the lowest tier. Above that, you got PC Game Pass, which is $11.99 per month, and you do get day one games. Above that, now you have Xbox Game Pass for console, which is the existing people who bought into the console tier.
Yeah.
They are now at $10.99 with no day one game. No, with day one games. And then you have this new tier, which is Xbox Game Pass Standard. And that's going to be $14.99 with no day one games. The 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 weird thing about the now Xbox Game Pass console tier and this new Game Pass Standard tier is
Yeah.
that go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
Okay. Is that the console tier, no one can buy into that tier anymore. So all the people who had the tier before this date, I think the date is happening in August. The actual changeover is happening in no.
I think it's already.
Yeah, I think it's set, right? Because
Mhm.
I would imagine you'd have an influx of people going into the console tier to save the $4, but you
I
wouldn't want
mean,
to do
which
this.
they might want to do that.
Yeah,
Still more money than it was before.
that's also true. That's also true. So yeah, the console tier, no one can buy into that tier anymore. So now anybody who is new to Game Pass will and who doesn't want to do ultimate or will probably have to go into the standard tier, which is $14.99, $15. And there's no day one games in that tier. So that tier just gets the backlog collection of games, and they'll have to wait for the day one games to go from day one to backlog. And it is not clear how long it will take for that to happen. I think actually the quote is it's gonna be case by case. So that gets kind of messy. And then we have the Ultimate tier, which is Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and that's going to be at $19.99 now. And that, of course, has day one games. That essentially is the Game Pass PC and Game Pass console bundled together. So,
So it's saying from September 12th, they'll only allow existing users to stack Game Pass for console up to 13 months. So do they not sell year cards anymore?
I couldn't tell you. I
It
have
looks
no
like they
idea.
sell 3-month cards and well, I don't like that. I don't have
Yeah,
it, but I mean, what? Mm-mm.
yeah. it's this is looking at these numbers. It seems that the PC Game Pass is actually a really good deal that you're getting it essentially for $12 a month. And I look at that number like that's probably going to change to at least be closer to the standard tier, which is 14.99 or even
Yeah.
higher than that. So it seems like that could be a thing that could come in the future.
You gonna get a since you're looking to get a new PC, you gonna get PC Game
No,
Pass?
nah. I think I'll do the free
Join the
Steam tier.
revolution. Join the revolution. Jordan would be proud of you.
Right? I can sit there and play Indiana Jones with him. So yeah, like this is a thing that we've kind of talked about, and actually not kind of, we've definitely talked about this in the past that like they are essentially having to be flexible with essentially all their marketing because
Yeah.
they are, it's known now that Game Pass is not moving the number of subs they expected it to, and they are essentially running up against the wall of we've kind of hit saturation point with this thing. We can try the blue ocean strategy that Nintendo did, which was we'll target people outside of the general gaming audience, try to get those people in. Um, I think I think it is part of this week's news, but like Xbox Game Pass is going to be coming to Amazon Fire Sticks, so that's another way of getting people in. All I need is the controller. So this is just a Xbox right now is in a place of trying to adapt to their own changing formula and just figuring out a way of still keeping Game Pass profitable for them. And it seems that this change in price is ahead of Call of Duty 6 or Black Ops 6 coming to
Hmm.
Game Pass, and the hope is that's going to push a lot of people to Game Pass. But with this change now, the idea is that it should make them more money because the people are most likely going to either go to the standard tier, which doesn't really make any sense if they want to get Call of Duty without paying for it. So they're more than likely would jump to the ultimate tier, and that's $20 right there. So
Mm.
yeah,
If you're only playing Call of Duty, it's not worth it to get Game Pass. You might as well
no,
buy it.
no, yeah, like, and I think the idea of Game Pass in its inception made sense because I feel like the general consumer was less focused about how much money they're dropping in their subscriptions. But we are X number of years removed from that. We have ads that are literally targeting, like, hey, you're probably paying for a lot of stuff in your subscriptions. You should check your bank statements. And like,
Yeah.
people are more conscious of that now. So it doesn't work in that same way of like, yeah, I'm just going to drop now $20 to get all these games. And it's like, all right, this month I've played 3 games, 2 of them or 1 of them being Fortnite, and I don't need to pay anything for that. So it's just like, why am I spending this extra money on Game Pass when I can just buy these games outright?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a whole thing. And the other, I guess, nugget to this whole Xbox Game Pass is this comes from IGN. New Hellblade 2 sales data offers a clearer picture of how it did on Xbox Game Pass and the charts. And this also could, point to why like Tango Gameworks, the developers of Hi-Fi Rush, like why they got laid off in terms of it was quote unquote successful, but don't look like it actually was. So this article comes to us from Kate Bailey. Hellblade 2 was billed as one of the 2024's biggest big exclusives when it released back in May, but overall sales numbers have been hard to come by since launch. Now, thanks to Sarkana's most recent sales data, we have a clearer idea of its performance. According to Sarkana's analyst, Mike Pispatella, Hellblade 2 was 37th overall in terms of full dollar sales for May 2024, putting it at 21st overall on Xbox Series consoles. Hellblade 2 did not receive any physical release. So this is okay. So getting a lot of questions. So this is the actual tweet from Matt Piscitello. Getting a lot of questions on this one. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 ranked 37th overall for May 2024 in US full game dollar sales. That is including physical plus digital for sharing publishers, while ranking 21st on Xbox Series. So that number, that 37th place, is including Game Pass
Players.
sales players. Yeah. So
Where are they getting this
that's
number from, though?
so it's Sarkana. So they work directly with the publishers and get those sales
Um,
numbers. Yeah. Yeah. So
okay.
like that, like the industry looks to Matt Piscatella and Sarkana for these stats to see how things are doing, and they talk
I
about
mean,
those numbers.
Hellblade was never going to be a system seller. It was never going to push Xbox to the forefront of anything. I guess they just wanted a artsy fartsy auteur game on Xbox, but it's not a big blockbuster thing. So
Yeah.
I guess this is par for the course for Hellblade.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, you're the thing is, you're absolutely right. Like Hellblade should not be positioned as this, for lack of better words, console seller. Like
God of War
that's
killer, you know.
yeah, like that's not Hellblade's position to be
Mhm.
in. But I think the issue is because Xbox is so hungry for these, like, I guess, tentpole games, like
Yeah.
we look at it like that, and it's just like, all right, well, when you do that, that number of the player base number has to be higher, and it has to do well, it has to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like,
And it has to be that player base's normal interest. They have cultivated a majority of their player base to be shooter focused and
yeah,
Western RPG focused, and this don't fit the bill. This is a mental
yep,
health and feelings
yep.
thing, and we don't even acknowledge mental health in the US, so this game was never going to do well. Although I wonder how much comparatively it would have done if it had stayed on PlayStation or maybe been
On PlayStation, yeah,
multi-platform.
yeah. Well, I mean, based off of Xbox's current strategy, I think we will soon see what it will do on PlayStation, because I can almost guarantee that this will be coming to PlayStation in
Ah,
either the
yeah,
end of
true,
this year or
maybe.
next year.
Which
Because
is
I mean, like
crazy.
it this fits the bill for what Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, this definitely
Right.
fits the bill for Hi-Fi Rush in terms of, well, we actually don't know if Xbox has come out and said that Hellblade 2 is successful in their eyes. So I don't know if it's there. But like they did say that they will bring these games to multi-platform. And I don't see Hellblade 2 coming to Nintendo Switch. So
I just find it anybody would find it silly. I mean, they bought them to keep it off of PlayStation. I believe that was the original plan, and look where we have
mhm.
slid. We slid back over to PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah. I, it, yeah, it just, it's one of those things where, the next question, because like I'm not sure if it's confirmed, but I believe the rumor is they are greenlit for the next Ninja Theory game.
Hmm.
But, you know, how long are they safe for? And it's one of those things where it's
Yeah.
just like you start building doubt like immediately because of Xbox's past with Tango Gameworks and, things that they've said. And it's just,
Yeah, especially since Hi-Fi Rush won all those awards. I mean, I guess we'll have to give
it
it
got
time to see
nominated.
what Hellblade wins, but damn.
Yeah. And on top of that, like I think the the one thing that Hellblade 2 is going to get flowers for is for its fidelity, like how great it looks. But
Yeah.
in the gameplay realm, it definitely met with a
Not
lot
much
of
gameplay there.
criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Um we're going to jump into some free to play game numbers very, very soon. But before we do that, hey, subscribe to this excellent plethora of content
Mhm.
you are receiving right now. Do it. We'll wait. We're not going to wait because that'd be bad podcasting. But yes, please do while we continue talking. And then also, you can like the video, of course, because you should always like the videos that you watch on YouTube. It's just common courtesy for all of us, for you too. That's how we continue to make these products. If you like the video,
Yeah, all this money we're making.
I just heard London in my ear, and she's not here. That was weird.
Hey, your father.
Yes. And don't forget, if you are listening to us, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast service you're using, and also tell a friend. Tell one and a half friend. You figure out that half. We won't. And of course, join our Discord because our Discord is cool. And it's just go to pressx2start.com/Discord, and that will take you to exactly where you need to go to join our Discord. Number 3. Zenless Zone Zero has earned almost $25 million in 5 days. This comes to us from pocketgamer.biz. So that number is, of course, taken from in-app purchases because Zenless Zone Zero is a free-to-play game. So this is, I think anyone outside of the Hoyoverse, not cult, I don't want to call them a cult, but the Hoyoverse fan club, I'll say, would look at this and be like, oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
But, as a person who has played Genshin Impact for literal years and then decided to put it down because I needed a break from that, only to come back to Hoyoverse with Zen Zone Zero, it's like, okay, yeah, that's surprising. Like, Hoyoverse makes really, really, really high quality free to play games. And it's one of the things is because they generate so much money from these games, they don't have to build the free to play gotcha systems to be like super
Predatory.
predatory. Yeah, and it's like they will just give you primo gems for just, hey guys, we've updated the game. Here's some primo gems. Like, hey guys, this one character had an error with like whatever. Here's some primo gems, and it's just like you could jump in the game and they will just give you stuff. And at the same time, you don't even have to engage with the gotcha system to play the game and like enjoy the actual game. Like you can play the game, build up that currency from just playing the game, and then eventually roll when you want to or whenever like
Yeah.
a cool character comes your way or whatever. So that's cool. It's not super surprising. I mean, I think the only issue, not the only issue, the only worry that I had with Zone Zero was that I thought that it might not do so well because of the um the combat side paired
Yeah.
with the like TV side or whatever, but it seems to be doing very well. Like I'm on the Zenless Zone Reddit and people are really enjoying themselves with the game. I'm enjoying myself with the game. I'll talk more about it during what we've been playing section. But yeah, they're doing pretty well. Like they nailed it from this one. Number 4, the first Descendant has reached 10 million players in 7 days. This comes
Yeah.
from the first Descendant Twitter. Um so yeah, this is essentially their post. They put out a post saying that they have hit 10 million plus players in 7 days. And this is, I put these two stories together because this is sort of like there's one style of gotcha system where it's like the Hoyoverse style, and then
Very
there is
generous.
the
Yeah.
First Descendant, which is like the
Give us all
real,
your money and your
yeah,
firstborn.
like the traditional gotcha system of like, if you want these things, you can have these things. These are technically free, but you will be grinding for everything. But yeah, like this is actually really good to see that the First Descendant has had so many, like 10 million players in a week.
Yeah.
And the hope is that, again, I think I said this last podcast. The hope is that like I enjoy playing First Ascendant. I just hope that the current system of First Ascendant is the worst version of that game, and it only gets better. And to pair along with this story, this comes from the gamer. Nexon released a statement confirming the First Ascendant's drop rates are fine.
We've investigated. We've internally investigated ourselves and determined that nothing.
Yeah, we're okay. Looks like you guys just need to play more. So this comes to us from Sam's Wood. Okay, so there is a problem with the grind system of Nexon of First Ascendant. The problem is that the grind system of the First Ascendant is pretty much built off the bones of Warframe, which is, if you don't know what Warframe is, it was one of the first. It was actually a launch title for PS4, and it
was out
is
before PS4.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was out before. Yeah, I just found it at PS4. You're right. It was out before PS4, and like the store of First Ascendant is almost the same that was in Warframe, or it still is in Warframe. And like Warframe is super successful. Like it has a ton of players. It's always had a ton of players. Like combat wise, if you like it, you like it. I waver on it, but it's one of those things where I think Nexon looks at the success of Warframe and think, okay, well, we can do the same thing too. And the problem is Warframe store is not friendly. And First Ascendant kind of follows the same pace where it's just like, all right, we will give you missions where if you complete the missions, no, I'm sorry. We will give you a mission where the goal of the mission is to collect parts to build a character.
Yeah.
When you complete the mission the one time, you're not guaranteed that part. There's a probability chance that you will get that part. So you have to keep running those missions till you get the parts, then you can build the character. When you build the character, it will take you close to a full day to build that character. So you can either play the game or jump off and go cut your grass or something, and then eat dinner, go to sleep, and you come back and then you can play with that new character.
Notice how you said you never included wash your ass in there. You know their fan base. God damn.
Hey, I'm speaking to the real gamers, Sean. So yeah, it is a thing of just like I enjoy playing First Ascendant. Now I'm just kind of bringing my own thing in. I'll leave this to the what we've been playing section. I'll leave this to what we've been playing section. So yeah, back to this article. Nexon assures players the drop rates are fixed and working properly. Yes, the drop rates are working properly. The issue is people don't understand probability. If the part has a 20% chance of dropping,
I just got to play it 5 times. Boom.
Yeah, like no. I
get it.
You got to get lucky 1 out of those 5 times, sir. That's what that is. But like it's also depressing to see like, okay, this one part has a 0.8% chance of dropping and it drops. You're like, oh, bet. And you look at it, you're like, okay, what does this do? And it's like, okay, this is 1 of 5 parts for a shotgun. And you're like, okay, so I'm never going to get this.
This is if you're seriously into building specific things, though.
Yeah.
And we can get into that, like you said, when we get to what we've been playing. But I mean, I've just been playing and I find a higher DPS gun, I switch to that.
Yeah.
Add some parts to it. I don't really, there's empty slots. I'm just building random shit and kind of having a fun time with it. So I mean, it all depends on how seriously you're trying to take the game.
Yeah. And I think that's gonna be like the true signal for how well this game does is going to be a month from now when everyone has pretty much completed the story and you're basically in the quote unquote end game, which is where essentially everyone who plays the game lives in, because there's no story content until they release an update or something. So you're just doing the things over and over again, and then that becomes like what is the reason for me playing this other than I'm enjoying my time? It's grinding for these weapons and stuff to further build out your power or whatever. So we'll see. Like again, it's one of those things where time will tell how well this does. My voice. Oh no. All right. Number 5. Sonic team lead can't help himself. No, sorry. Sonic team lead can't help himself wonders how have we gotten 30 years with no RPG and hopes to make the forbidden Sonic RPG before he retires. This comes for us from GamesRadar by way of Austin Wood. So this is a weird thing. So yeah, he's in an interview and he brings up this quote, and it's hilarious because there has been a Sonic RPG before.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. Like, wait, didn't we have a thing by BioWare?
And it just seems like it just seems like you know,
I think
either he's not considered.
that speaks to the marketing that is largely unknown more so than maybe it's a bit of
Yeah,
both. Maybe it's him
exactly.
and the marketing.
Yeah. So this is just kind of a funny story. So the person who they're speaking to is Sonic team lead Takashi uh Izuka. Is that
Unless he
L?
just doesn't consider that canon.
Right, yeah. But yeah, it's sort of a thing of just like, all right, you guys do have an RPG, but yeah, of course he doesn't. Most likely, he doesn't consider it canon. But it's, I don't know, man. Like at
Oh,
this point,
that sucks. I'm looking. Apparently, it's not a good RPG, and it ends on a cliffhanger that was never resolved. That's rough.
looks like they need a sequel. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I don't know. I don't have anything for this. I just thought this was funny. We'll see. I don't know. I feel bad for Sonic because I really, really used to love Sonic, and I just have
They need to hand it over
never
to either John White. Who was it? Christian something something.
the
The fan who made Sonic 4. I don't remember.
oh, okay. Yeah, man. I think the Sonic team needs to shuffle up their staff to make a Sonic that can really resonate and not be Sonic Frontiers because that that's a no. That's a hard no.
Christian
All right.
Whitehead. That's who it was. Anyway, go ahead.
Christian Whitehead. That's
Yeah,
a
he's the
crazy
one
last
who
name.
worked on Sonic Mania.
Okay. Oh,
So
okay.
he's the one that
Oh,
brought it back to being like, yeah, this is Sonic. They
yeah.
need to either let him work on it or give it to Nintendo.
Mm,
I think Nintendo knows to do with Sonic, and that
okay.
doesn't include taking it out back to shoot it.
Oh man. All right. Number 6. Major retailer will stop accepting video game pre-orders. This comes to us from Game Rant by way of Brett Bile. Bile? Sure. So yeah, the retailer in question, or in conversation, I should say, is Game. If you don't know, Game is a, I believe, UK store,
Yeah,
and
I included this story for our European fan base.
right. So yeah, Game is no longer accepting in-person pre-orders, shifting to online only for future releases on August 1st. The new self-checkout counters are changing the retail experience, potentially impacting stores like GameStop in the US. So that part's actually interesting as well. But yeah, we can
Mm.
just go back to the first part where yeah, so they're no longer doing in-person pre-orders. What does that mean? Not too much. You just can't, I mean, really and truly, you could just be in the store, pull up your phone and do the pre-order on your phone while in the store kind of thing. But I think they
Who
are
could go
essentially
spend
just,
grand to go pre-order GTA 6 for you though?
oh, you're
Grands.
right. Yeah.
And
Dang.
they're like,
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry, old bird. You gotta do it online.
That's exactly what they would say. So yeah, it's this is an interesting thing. Like, does this happen to our GameStops? I don't know. I don't
Nah,
know.
way more violent over here. Fuck you mean I gotta do it online? I'm here in the store now.
All right.
They
You
might
pull out your
they might
phone.
put some kiosk in the store or some shit to prevent that, but
Yeah.
we don't got no sense over here. Sorry, America.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like we know the brick and mortar game shops
Mm,
are changing and having to adapt to, the online only, digital only push that the consoles or the publishers are doing.
mm-hmm.
So it's one of the things where it's all right, well, if this is a move and this is a move, we'll see how it goes in about 2 years or so and report on that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. The rest of the content is sort of just kind of quick hits.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, PS5 outpacing PS4 in sales while Xbox Series falls behind. This comes to us from Insider Gamer by way of Mike Straw. So the title pretty much covers what's happening here. The PS5 is doing pretty well, and we're comparing it to the PS4, which did phenomenally. So it's good.
I don't think
I
it can be
mean,
compared to the Xbox though, because Microsoft isn't pressed as they say to really sell consoles. They're more so
yeah,
pushing Game Pass, which you can play on damn Fire Stick at this point. I know people had it working on the Chromecast. You could get it on your phone, and there aren't any real, I guess, Starfield. There aren't that many Xbox Series games that you can't play on Xbox One, if I'm to believe, you know,
yeah. No,
how the
I
whole thing's going. So,
I agree with you. I think putting Xbox in this title is just making it more clickbaity. Like Xbox, we know that Xbox has been marketing Game Pass over buying
yeah.
consoles. So of course the consoles aren't going to see the same, buy increases that the PlayStation is seeing because Sony is saying, "Hey, buy this console, then you can get the games, but you have to buy this console first." So yeah, it's one of the things where it's like, yeah, that's not surprising to see that Xbox Series is falling behind Xbox One. Your strategy is different. So yeah, number 8. Astrobot almost went open world, but opted for 80 plans instead because that led to the most control over the game's variety. And I agree. This comes to us from GamesRadar by way of Concern. So yeah, again, the title kind of speaks for itself. So the
Mhm.
actual in the article, speaking to Edge magazine in its 400th issue, Flex, which features a whopping 10 unique covers with different cosplaying astrobots on each. Creative director Nicholas Duchette said the team did consider at first should this be an open world game. The only reason that Astrobot eventually went to a level based approach was because that was the one that gave us the most control over the game's variety. And
Mm.
that makes total sense. Like, this is, at least from what we've seen, this feels like a very Mario like. And
Yeah.
you don't do an open world for that because it looks jarring and there would be it just I'm like, I don't even have to like try and like reason it out in my head. Like, you just don't make it an open world. Like, this makes perfect sense. So good. I can't wait for this game. I can't wait for this game at all. Are you excited for this too, right?
Yeah, I just haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I mean, I plan on getting this, Zelda, and Wukong.
Yeah. Okay. Me too.
Those are my next big things.
Yeah. All right, and the last one for the quick hits, number 9. This is a rumor so far; it hasn't been confirmed, but apparently Disney has been hacked.
Dang.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be insane if this is true. It's gonna be a lot of information to come out. So this is a Twitter post from Pirate Nation, a la Reddit. So it's apparently 1 terabyte of data stolen. So it's unreleased projects, logins, image codes, or images codes. Yeah, that's a lot of information. So we'll see what happens. It's a shame, like, it's one thing for you to have unreleased projects, it's one thing to have like images and videos and stuff, but it's another thing to have people's logins. Like that part is always like the worst part
Scary.
of these like hacks. And it's just like, it sucks. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. But that has been it for the gaming news. Now let us jump into the games we've been playing. Let's start off with the game that everyone's been talking about, Concord. So I actually, let me do some little a better intro for this. So when we saw Concord at Summer Game Fest, no, the PlayStation's
Sony's state of
State of
play,
Play, yeah,
whatever.
yeah, they said that they were going to do a beta specifically for pre-order people, and then next week they were going to do an open beta for everyone to play. Earlier this week there was a news article that broke out that said actually PlayStation is going to open up the pre-order
Right.
beta for
Everybody.
PS Plus people. Yeah. And it is a thing of like, well, why? Why is that happening? Are you telling me not enough people pre-ordered the game? Sounds like a problem. So yeah, they open up this game for the PS Plus people, and really and truly, they should have done this from the start because there is not enough confidence from, I think, Firewalk Studios, the people that made this game.
Yeah.
But there's not enough confidence from this new studio who's putting out a hero shooter for us to just jump in and be like, yeah, okay, we're going to pre-order this game based off of the one video that we've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, they have no pedigree yet.
Yeah, exactly. So they did this, and now we've got to play some time. I've put in hours so far into Concord, and a bunch of people online have jumped in, and they're all able to give their feedback on this game that up until this point has been called the Guardians of the Galaxy Overwatch ripoff or clone game or whatever. And now we're able to get a much better view or much better impression of this game. So here we are now talking about Concord. So I've talked a lot. Sean, what is your initial impressions with Concord?
Oh God. Immediately I started complaining. So I started blasting.
Yeah, right.
It's a game that has solid bones, but some of the choices they have made are puzzling. For one, there is no, well, you know what? For the beta,
Mhm.
there was no training room. All you can do is go in and start shooting. You can change your settings. You can pre-order. I think you can. There's a section that says how to play, and you would think, all right, that's gonna bring me to like a tutorial of some sort. No, it's just walls of text explaining the game to you.
Yeah.
And then, all right, like uh, an obvious comparison is gonna be Overwatch or any other hero shooter. I don't know how any other hero shooter is, but at least with Overwatch, you can look at each character, and if I'm not mistaken, before you even getting to shooting up the place, you can look at their abilities to have an understanding of who you're picking, or at the very least, during the game or during the character selection, you can kind of see. I want to say with Overwatch, their abilities are there as you're hovering over each character. With this game, you have to hit triangle, and there's a very short window for you to even read what the hell each of them does, and you can't look while you're playing. And then I think you can't look at the leaderboard, which is an exception for some people. They want to see what the flow of the match is currently. You can't do that. Um the actual gameplay is solid, but I think a lot of people will feel lost because you're still trying to figure out what the character does as you're playing. I know when I first got dropped in, you don't want to waste an ability in the middle of a battle. So
Yeah.
am I to sit back? I sat back for like a good 30 seconds to a minute just trying to figure out, okay, what does this do? What does this do? Is this AoE? You know, what um as a first attempt from the studio, it's solid, it's polished, but I think it's missing some quality of life things that a more established studio would have known to include. And the best way I can put this as an analogy is like Tesla versus legacy automakers. Tesla came in, interrupted the place, has this new shiny product,
Mhm.
but a lot of them were missing some things that Elon had to put back in, like door pockets. The first, I don't know if it was the first Model 3 or the first S, it didn't have door pockets on the side of the door. As silly as that sounds,
Yeah.
as little things like that that should be in this game. And I don't know if I and then like this is a heavily team-based game. So like don't think you're gonna go in there and be a rogue
Just
one
shoot up.
and flank the team and shoot up people from behind. I did that a few times, and the TTK in this game is it's not slow, but like a lot of times I caught like three people dead to rights. And if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not very well versed in this game, I still don't know if you can like one man army this shit.
Mhm.
There was a time where me and DJ were playing and one of our teammates left. I don't think they will be dropping people in mid match if someone on your team leaves.
They don't. Yeah.
And that may be a detriment to this game. I think one of our teammates dropped and we were 4v5ing the other team. Fortunately, we started to actually work together as a team and dominated them, but
So real
this
quick, I'm showing gameplay
yeah,
footage from Jack Frag. So yeah, go ahead.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
All right.
Yeah, you can't lone wolf this game, and I don't know if this is going to be uh to the detriment of the game because everybody's trying to make solo game clips for themselves. Nobody wants to
Mhm.
be a team. If this had come out, if something like this had come out maybe I want to say 10 years ago, it may have fared better with the straight up teamwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um I don't know. DJ, what do you think?
So there's a lot. I as I said, I've put in at this point maybe 6-ish or so hours. Like I'm level 13 in the like
Mhm.
accounts level or whatever. And my first 2 hours, at that point I clocked it. My first 2 hours, it was very much so like, what am I doing with this game? Like I shoot the people don't die. Like, what is happening? I was using the Call of Duty bro character Theo, whatever,
Yeah.
TEO, and like he has an assault rifle, he has smoke grenade, and he has a grenade, he has a frag grenade, and it's like that's Call of Duty right there. And playing him, it was just like,
Damn near the weakest character.
yeah, I'm just like, I'm shooting people. They're turning around and shooting and killing me. Like the TTK is so inconsistent. What is happening? So that was my
You
like
know what?
first two
You know what?
hours.
I feel like the TTK or at least the damage system was more forgiving in Overwatch. You could kill somebody with a full clip, even if you hit him with just body shots and not headshots. I feel like I needed to reload at least once, and at
Yeah,
that point, you're dead
yeah,
if you're not getting headshots in this game. But
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So literally after that 2 hours, I stopped myself. I looked at the controls and I was like, all right, I'm obviously not playing this game correctly. I looked at my controls, realized that I have this thing, a dodge, and I'm just not using the
I
dodge.
didn't even know it had it until DJ said,
Yeah.
"Hey, make dodge."
And like once I figured out, okay, I gotta use this dodge. I have to like rely on this thing. Once I started using the dodge, I was doing much better. Like I was running in, shooting people up, dodging out, reloading, or switching guns because I forgot that Theo also has a pistol. And it's just a thing of learning these characters. I think the like so far right now where I'm at, I am really enjoying Concord. Like I think for me, I think this game does have legs. It is a solid shooter,
Mhm.
but the main slight against Concord is that it is such a new, different game. Like,
Experience, yeah.
yeah, it's like
You
it's
can't
the
play this like
closest
games you have been playing.
exactly. Like, you have to learn these characters. Like the damage that the TTK, that's time to kill if people don't know. It is inconsistent, but it's inconsistent because like this is a very unique hero shooter where people do different damage. People have different health bars. Like there is, for example, like one of the tank characters that I'm playing that I'm really enjoying is Imari, and she is like this 8 foot tall, like gigantic woman with a Gatling gun, and like she can she moves slow, but she has such a unique kit where like when she's running, she will start to run up and then she'll slowly pick up speed and then she will be like pretty fast running kind of thing. And it's just like I didn't realize this until like I was playing with her. And then like her kit, she has a Gatling gun that slowly winds up. And
Mhm.
once it's up at like full speed, like you could put people down quickly.
But
She
it
could
also
also
overheats, I think, doesn't it?
yeah, and also overheats, right? Yeah. But like she can armor people up. She's the only person in the game that can armor people up. She has a shield that she could pull out. Like these characters are so unique, and you have to sit and learn the characters. The problem is you have to learn these characters in game while dodging bullets, while trying not to die,
You
and
get
like
all
that
of
part
a 3 to 4
sucks.
second glimpse of their abilities and movement
Yeah,
things. Everybody has different movements. Some people have triple jump, some people have double jump. The
yeah.
tanks can't actually dodge.
They can't mantle either. So like they are relying
Ah,
on fucking stairs and ramps, and it's just like, oh my god, this is so annoying. But the tanks, their melee attack is really insane in that you can
mm.
actually melee people behind you because it's an AoE attack. So they
Oh,
stomp on the ground and it creates like a wave kind of thing. And it's like there is so much to peel back behind with this game that like that's why I feel like it's gonna have legs because there's like so much tactics and stuff. Like this is a team shooter. This is a team shooter to the point where you have to really let me check this, make sure.
you need
Okay.
to be with your buddies because if you
Yes.
get caught lacking by yourself, there are many times where I got jumped and there wasn't shit I could do. But
Like
just as they used to say
I
back in the day, I used to F up they perfect. You're gonna take some
right?
damage. I'm gonna go down, but you're gonna take some
like
damage.
I I I literally just completely forgot what I was doing. I just went pure muscle memory. I was playing as that tank Imari, and I saw my team fighting these people. I remembered how the map layout was. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go flank these people. I didn't pull out flank. I my idiot self started spinning up my Gatling gun to shoot. I was shooting one. The other two literally just turned and looked at me. Were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "You know what? I'm sorry. I forgot the game that I was playing, and they killed me." And I'm just like, "I deserve that. Like, what was I doing? I'm the tank. I'm not supposed to be here. Why am I here?" So it's
Mm,
just like
mm.
it's a thing of like you have to dedicate time to this game. Like you can sit and just read through the stats or read through the description of the characters and learn the characters and figure
Where?
out how to
Where,
play with
DJ?
them. Huh? Well,
Where?
that's the thing. So I and I think like you get to it exactly where this feels like their first game in terms of their UI and how things are placed. Like
Mhm,
if you go into the free runner customization thing or whatever,
mhm.
while you're customizing the people, you can just pull up the triangle thing and just look at their what they do essentially and just read it there. And it's like that stuff needs to be handled a whole lot better because right now it is super frustrating to pick a new character and be like, oh, what does this character do? And you can't do it. And you're just like, you have to wait until you die. And it's just like, okay, I have to be a speed reader now. It's just like,
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
but
But
also
I will,
comprehend what they're describing the ability to do.
Yeah,
within that little short window.
exactly. Like this game is so new. There's so many new keywords that you have to just digest and figure out and just learn from trial and error essentially. That I think if you can get past that barrier of entry, like you can have fun with this game. And like,
I was having fun after a while as I started to comprehend some things, but
yeah, yeah. And like there are
yeah.
team synergies with this game
Hmm.
that the thing is, because this game is so new, it's hard to be like, okay, this character can work with this character. But you don't know because you don't really know how this character works versus how this character works until you play with them. Like
But
one of the
I
characters,
hate when that happens because then there
yeah.
goes the min max thing, and people are just
I mean, but
super
that's
high
that,
efficiency, and now you're an idiot
yeah,
if you're not doing the meta.
yeah. But the thing, I don't want to say this yet because I'm not positive, but I feel like there is actually some countering to
Hmm.
people that's happening between characters. So like if a character is, running, if a team is running with X, Y, and Z characters, I think you could pick characters to counter that.
Yeah,
But like, for example, the rocket person, she goes in the air, she shoots rockets or whatever, but she's pretty much a target for the sniper.
stationary.
Yeah.
Man, I was sitting there aiming down a hallway, waiting for people to come around, and here comes the dude to the right, just setting
Yeah.
up to shoot me. I didn't even realize until I turned, like, oh,
I didn't realize there was a hallway there. Damn.
surprise, surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think like I'm really enjoying my time with Concord. I just had to give it I had to essentially take L's to
Hmm.
learn what I need to do in this game. And like, yeah, when you're running with a team, like I I had Imari, which is a tank, and Jabali, which is a black guy that has a hat that looks like that character from Apex a little bit, but he has the orbs from Zenyatta from Overwatch, where he can throw a healing orb and a damaging orb. And he was running with me, so he put a healing orb on me, and I armored him up, and we were just running through people because like you hit us, you take the armor, but he's healing you, he heals me, and I'm healing him because that's how the healing orb works. And it's just
Hmm.
like that was almost a perfect synergy. Like the only reason why we died there is because I think I lost him. I was like, oh no, my friend, and of course I died because the rest of the team. But like yeah, I think it's a good game. It's a good game that has a lot of rough edges. That thankfully the edges that are rough are not
They're workable.
gameplay.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not
they're all
something
like UI
concrete.
based and stuff.
One mode I did like was that last thing we played. What the hell was it called?
Rivalry.
No, the thing where I don't know if it was rivalry, but basically there was like a bomb in the middle, and this is almost like search and destroy where you have one life in this mode.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That mode is right. It's called Rivalry.
okay, well,
Yeah,
there's a bomb in the middle, and any team, I think, was it any team could pick it up in the middle?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a set where the attackers were the defenders. Any team could get the bomb in the middle and go plant it on A or B side. And what was very interesting about that is if you win a round, you cannot play with that character that you won the round with
Hmm.
in the next round. That is a new thing, and it was very interesting to me that they did that
Yeah,
because that means you need to basically learn every character because okay, you were good with this character, you won this round, use somebody else now.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
I think that's how we swung it in our favor, but then we just lost again because once again we're still trying to figure out the mechanics of the game. But I thought that was a very interesting mode
like mode. Yeah,
choice for that
yeah.
mode.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Like I think that is definitely going to be like a really cool thing to see later on when
Mm.
you know we're actually better at, or like when people are just better at the game and understand like, all right, I'm gonna use this character first and this character kind of thing. But you got anything else to say?
I would say I am torn on whether or not this would do better as a free to play game or if it's going to be just fine as a $40 game because it is so reliant on teamwork and
Yeah.
maybe feel of the game, because I mean, I don't think you have to talk to too many people, but I struggle with trying to buy this game for $40 if I know I'm not gonna play it all that often. Maybe if it was free to
Yeah.
play, I might spin it up every now and then. We could go have fun, shits and giggles. But
Right.
it is a solid game. I think
Yeah.
it's just rough. It's a rough sell for some people.
Yeah, it's a solid game in a market that is super
We're getting
critical
some
on
heavy,
spending money.
and we're getting some heavy hitters in this season. So
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
to our listeners, you're gonna hear this on Friday. If you listen to it on Fridays, it'll be free this weekend. Try
Mhm.
it out.
Yeah, definitely. I think Concord is a game that you definitely try. I totally agree with that. Like, try it out, but understand that those first couple of matches is gonna be rough unless you are sitting and watching people play it from this week and like you're really picking a character that like you are researching and understanding how you're gonna play with that character. So when you jump in, you're not gonna be completely like lost in the sauce trying to figure out how what this character
Yeah.
does. So yeah, like I think it is definitely worth a try. I think this is a solid game. I definitely don't think it's going to reach the insane heights of that's an ad.
Overwatch.
Yeah, not even Overwatch of like Helldivers 2, where that came and people were just like, ah, it's all right. And then they actually play and like, oh my god, this is better than
Amazing.
sliced bread or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's definitely not gonna be like that. But yeah, definitely try it out. All right. And just to wrap up, actually, did you want to talk about First Ascendant?
Um, just a quick little
Okay.
thing about it.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy the fact that before you start a mission, it tells you roughly how long you're gonna spend in that mission.
Yeah.
A lot of them will say 5 minutes or less, 10 minutes or less, 20 minutes or less, 30 minutes or less. So if you just want to hop on and shoot something up, you know where the missions are, or you can gauge how long before, or if somebody wants you to come do something, give me like 5 more minutes. This is almost done. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I
Yeah.
really like that about that,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though it wants all your money.
You're right. Yeah, like I'm in an interesting place for First Ascendant where like
Mhm.
I I don't I don't play it unless I'm playing it
Yeah.
with y'all.
Mhm.
And it's a thing of like I think that's kind of where it's gonna stay with me. And it's
Yeah.
trying to figure out like, well, why is that? Like, I think the gameplay is pretty good. I think like if you are like using your skills and
It's
stuff and you're
not good.
like,
It's not amazing.
yeah, I think
I mean, I'm,
it's
I'm
like
sorry. It's not bad. It's not amazing.
right, exactly. It's good. I think it's a good game to play, ignoring all the microtransaction stuff. And
Which I am doing.
for me, I've kind of just ignored the story, and which is kind of
I've
weird
skipped a
because
lot of that too.
yeah, and it's weird for me because like I generally like these kinds of like sci-fi stories and stuff, but it's just
Mhm.
like I don't know if it feels like AI, but there's definitely it feels like there's a disconnect with the story for me.
Yeah.
So it's been in a really interesting place where I'm just like, I don't know. I'll see where I'm at. Or I'm seeing where this game is in like 3 months and kind of go from there. But like one of my characters is almost level 40. So I wanted to
Mhm.
have at least one character that was level 40 and kind of try and play around with the other characters. Of course, that's hard to do with the grinding system and unlocking system
Mhm.
of the characters. So it's just like I don't know. I'll see. I'm
I would
just
say for those listening, if you're gonna play it, don't take the microtransactions too seriously. Um, I'm having a fun time with it. Just ignoring the story. I'm listening to the story. The main things, like little side bullshit quests.
yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. Fuck Jeremy.
it's interesting to just you know I'm just gathering things, clearing out space. Oh, look, another high DPS weapon. I
Yeah.
do think the DPS on these have jumped insane. They shouldn't have started with DPS in the thousands. I think they should have dropped down the numbers a little bit. I know everybody loves big numbers, but I think the first gun you start out with is like 178 DPS. That's like the first
Mm-hmm.
assault rifle that you get,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get into the. I think I have a assault rifle that's like 11,000 DPS. Like,
Oh, you got ways to go. Like, yeah. Like my guns are, I think, like 30K, 40K, I think, or something like that.
there was no need to go
Yeah.
that high, Nexon. So
Yeah.
what I mean by that is the numbers really become meaningless, and I don't feel like you need to spend money on guns and all that and skins unless you just like spending your money in that manner. I'm just perfectly fine picking up them purple guns and gold whatever's,
Yeah.
and oh, this is a higher number. Oh, this is a higher number. Like, I don't think this has been out long enough or been established long enough for people to care about spending thousands of dollars on a microtransaction.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing of trying to get a sense of like what is the the scale of difficulty that's going to happen with this game, because when you go into like the boss menu and you can pick the bosses,
Yeah,
it starts at like level 22, and then like over to the right it's like 100 and something
yeah.
like level, and it's like, well, the max level right now is 40, so are they going to slowly bump up that max level to eventually be 100 and something? So it's just like it's weird to like kind of get a grasp of like
And then at that point, what's the DPS on the guns gonna be?
exactly. It's
That's
like
what I mean. Like, they
you're
didn't have
spending
to
your
go
time
crazy
and
with these
stuff.
numbers.
Yeah, you're spending your time and stuff to get these weapons right now, but then like all the way over there, it's just like these guns are not going to do anything to those enemies over there, and it's just like, well, how far are we going with this? Like, what is the actual tail end of this whole thing? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I am like, if I can't really rate First Descendant because I haven't beat the game, so I don't know what the exact end content is like. But I think
Mhm,
right now, in terms of what I've played with it, what I've experienced, it's like a 6.5 for me out of 10.
mhm.
But like, it's not a bad 6.5. It's like, oh,
I mean, 5 is supposed to be average. For some reason, we
yeah,
have taken 7 as average nowadays.
yeah, oh yeah.
5 is supposed to be middle of the road out of 1 out of
I
10.
blame the school system.
Yep, no child left behind. Um,
And
yeah,
I
no,
will
I
say,
agree.
the one of the best things about First Ascendant is the grappling hook. The grappling hook is great. Like, I just wish that it would reload a little faster so I
Yeah.
can keep
I mean,
grappling
there's
instead of just
probably an attachment to do that, or you can
yeah,
probably
yeah.
buy something that does that.
No, there is a one of the skill mods or whatever made the grapple hook longer, but made the cooldown a bit more. So I
Mhm.
think it could probably get like the opposite where the cooldown is less. So yeah, you're probably right with that. But yeah, and the last game that I just want to shout out is Zenless Zone Zero. Like, I think I've put a majority of my time into that game. There is a total of 3 chapters. I'm in chapter 2, and that game is just another hit for Hoyoverse. Like, it is really good. Like, I actually care about the things that are happening in that game versus, my time in First Ascendant, where it's like the story is kind of like an end of a like an apocalyptic story
Yeah.
like First Ascendant, but of course very different. And you know, I think First Descent, or I guess Zenless Zone Zero, has more personality in it than what I am getting from in First Descent, and like that just keeps me going. Like, and the combat is super clean, super smooth, super fun. Um, the uh, the TV screen stuff, I've gotten okay with it. I've gotten used to it. There's, if you look in the top left for people who are playing this game, you can actually press in L3 and it will speed up the movements and stuff for the TV screen.
Mhm.
So that also makes it like pretty quick to just run through the stuff and do whatever you need to do. So yeah, it's a good game. Like, if you are on the fence about trying it out, it is a free to play game. They are very kind about the Primo Gem stuff that I mentioned earlier. And they say that, oh, if you play the story, you'll get 100 free spins or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much about right. Probably a bit more because they're also giving you extra primo gems or extra primo coins through the mail system because they're like updating the game, they're fixing bugs and stuff, and every time they do that, they give you primo coins. So yeah, check it out. That's it. That has been it for our podcast. That has been it for Press X Start Gamers Digest for this week. Join us again next week as we talk about more games and more news. Hopefully, all good news. And don't forget, you can support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, hit the notification bell. If you are listening and not watching, you should do both because your body works that way. Leave us a review on whatever podcast service you're using, whether it be Apple Podcasts, whether it be Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music. I don't know what Amazon does. Yeah, because all that helps us and it keeps us going. And you want us to keep going because that's good for us and you as you're a person who's listening to us. So yes, do all that stuff. You be safe. You keep playing video games. And I don't know. Don't catch us in Concord because if we're working as a team, you're going down. Oh, jeez. All right, guys. See you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready to get rid of this fucking map.
Yeah.